But I think Baker is still competing against Mahomes. Eric, what do you think? Do you think Baker can ever catch up with Mahomes, or is he going to wither under that pressure?
If you say ever, maybe. If you just said it, will he catch up with him? I don't see it right now.
Okay.
I think Patrick Mahomes is set up for much more success, at least in the short term, as opposed to Baker Mayfield. They have an established coaching staff. Andy Reid is one of the best coaches of all time. All he does is win. He may not win Super Bowls, but he's going to get you 10, 11, 12 wins a season, get you deep into the playoffs, gives you that experience. You got Eric sleeping with the Bieniemy on offense. That's really helping Patrick Mahomes grow. And he's got veterans who have been there. I mean, he's got Tyreek Hill, he's got Travis Kelce, two great weapons, and he's got an offensive line of a lot of former Browns, but nonetheless, I mean, they're all been 5, 6, 7 years in the league. They're an established team right now that that's really used to winning and playing these type of games in January and now finally February. The Honey Badger was one heck of a pickup they had. He's really galvanized that defense with Steve Spagnuolo. So, the Browns have a ways to go before they get that echelon. They have to, unfortunately, it seems like NFL teams, the Niners are the whatever
Exception.
exception to the rule. There you go. Thank you. Where they just blow by, building this, and they just go from 4-12 to Super Bowl. But it seems like you got to go 9-7. Hit that first round, then maybe then the next season win a game, then you get your Super Bowl run. And the Browns, they have 6 and 7 wins the last 2 seasons. So definitely don't feel good in the near term. I'm hoping Kevin Stefanski can, take this team and put them up there with the Chiefs. He's got to start with a lot of good hires. I do like the Callahan hire. General George S. Payton. I'm hoping he can be a good, good general manager that can really help this team. And
I'm hoping we get him, man. That's no guarantee.
Yeah. I guess I'm assuming that we get him. Whoever the general manager is, I just wanted to say that name. Whoever the general manager is, they're going to have a really, really key role this April. They have the 10th pick of every round, and they have a couple additional picks. What are they going to do? Are they going to trade back, trade up, settle for offensive linemen? They got a lot of ways they can go, and I'm hoping they make some wise decisions in free agency and the draft.
There's no settling for offensive linemen, man. Pick all of them. This is an excellent draft for offensive line.
There are a lot of good ones. So, right now I don't feel confident that we can get to that level, but that's also 20, 30 years of poor football that I'm, protruding to you guys and saying I've seen a lot of bad things, so I don't have confidence. But I hope they prove me wrong. We've seen tremendous effort and tremendous play by Baker Mayfield. I know it's in there. I know Stefanski can get it out of him, and I just hope the rest of the team can join him and they get the wins, and maybe he will get to multiple Super Bowls, and maybe he will beat Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game from years to come. But, right now I don't see it.
Drew, what do if we zoom in a little bit here and just look at one aspect of this Mahomes versus Baker possibility for the future, maybe some AFC conference championship games against these two, do you think Baker has the leg up based on some of the big games that he played in as the quarterback at Oklahoma? I don't know if Mahomes, he's played some track meets against the Patriots, but this is going to be Mahomes' Ben Roethlisberger moment of you're on the largest stage in the world as far as football goes, and let's see if you can put up. Do you think Mahomes is going to shine under that pressure?
Yes. I think Patrick Mahomes is really good. I think Baker's not going to wilt. When that moment comes, not if, when that moment comes. I think the Browns finally have an adult running the show. I think they have and they have people pulling in the same direction, trying to accomplish the same goals. This is all predicated on them hiring George Patton. I would very much like that to come to fruition. He was at the facility from 9 a.m. Till after 3:30 p.m. today discussing the job. That is a really long interview, by the way. So, assuming all that works out, I think they have finally the organization around Baker Mayfield to where, we might be able to get this thing rolling. So, I'm not worried about Baker Mayfield's talent. I'm not worried about his ability to play in a big game. He was decimating that excellent Georgia team up until they sort of cheap shot at him, and Lincoln Riley went sort of conservative in that playoff game. So, I'm not worried at all about Baker Mayfield. I think, looking into my crystal ball, I see these guys ending up as sort of like a Breeze Rodgers type of a scenario. Hopefully, there's more Super Bowls in there, but I would certainly settle for one at this point. Baker Mayfield, obviously, the more Drew Brees type, the more I think accurate type of a player, whereas Patrick Mahomes is the more freelance, pure talent, type of arm talent that is, otherworldly. So, I think Patrick Mahomes is the guy everybody would rather have, and there's a good reason for that. He's in a better situation. He's had the same head coach his whole time, the same system the whole time. He certainly has the better start to their careers throughout the first 2 or 3 years, their first 2 years starting. But I think the Browns can challenge them. I think they can become an adequate rival of that team, and I am here for that, right? I am here for the end of the Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady AFC. I am ready for that to be a thing of the past. I'm ready for it to be Lamar Jackson against Baker Mayfield. The winner of that gets Patrick Mahomes, and then potentially, you throw in some other like surprise teams in there that might pop up every now and again. But that's what I'm ready for, and I think that there's some reason to expect that. I think those are some of the best young quarterbacks currently going, and this is all predicated on the Bengals sort of ruining Joe Burrow, but I am confident in their ability to do so.
Yeah, you bring that up. Baker can look forward and try and catch up with some of the guys that are ahead of him now, but Burrow coming in, Tua coming in, potentially to the Dolphins. We'll see where he lands. There's going to be a young crop of quarterbacks who are going to be battling for that AFC title. Baker,
it's about time.
Big year.
Yeah. We've spent 20 years. It's been 20 years of one of those three or an illegitimate franchise. It's been one time this century that a legitimate franchise has represented the AFC in the Super Bowl that wasn't led by one of those three quarterbacks.